D-Base.
Dominic Company.
Nashville's best sports talk.
Crank it up.
102.5 and 106.3.
Cranks it, he scores.
On both sides of the ball.
One big possession.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun.
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
And welcome into the Tuesday edition of Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode. Michelle Knezovic here with you on this Tuesday morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Joe Rexrode live from Knoxville, Tennessee in the aftermath of a trouncing by the Lady Volunteers. They win 94-47 last night against the Toledo Rockets. Joe, good morning. How are you? What's going on?
Well, let's see. Is this thing on? Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Man, that sounds like rich mahogany.
Really?
It does.
Oh, I think if I'm going to sound this good now, I think I should also just talk more like this. So what do you think?
I think you should do the whole show like that. I think it'd be great.
Maybe I will. Hey, how you doing? Again, it's 6:01. Thank you.
Michelle, good morning.
This
How are
works.
you?
I'm better now after that little impression by Rexrode.
It sounds great.
Yeah, you do sound great, Rex. I think you should do that voice for the whole show, though. So.
Well,
I think that's all he's got.
maybe it's gonna be like the day that Brian Kelly talked about his family, and I can just do a bunch of impersonation. I feel like that's the comedy impact of my impersonations. I don't think that we exploit that enough.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should probably
Yeah.
lean into that a little bit more today. We'll see what happens on that front. I know Joe's life was changed yesterday. He experienced Buc-ee's for the first time on the way up to Knoxville. So what a day yesterday for Joe Rexrode.
I did. I got and it's kind of a weird choice. I probably should have just gotten a brisket sandwich, but there were I just was you told me about I think a brisket taco, so
Yeah.
that was in my head, and they didn't have that. But for whatever reason, the chicken burrito sounded really good. The way it was described, it was very good. And the candied pecans or pecans.
I go pecans.
I think pecans. Yeah.
I do pecans.
Do you?
I think that is kind of a Yankee. Pecans is more. I like pecans though. I like pecans, and they were good. I crushed that thing in like 20 seconds.
Speaking of crushing the Lady Vols last night, 94-47. You were there for that. Lady Vols advanced to the Sweet 16. So the men's team and the women's team in the Sweet 16 for Tennessee. What did you make of total destruction by Tennessee last night against Toledo?
Yeah, well, Toledo, bad matchup for them. But the whole thing with Toledo was, as I said after the game, well, basically we needed the Tennessee to not make threes. And some nights that happens. But on this night, it did not happen. Tennessee was 11 for 22. So, basically they had to give that up. They're way undersized. But beyond that, Tennessee's playing really well. Like, after the first half, I'm like, the way this team is switching and communicating on defense, I've watched two Tennessee teams in a span of 3 days, one in Orlando, one in Knoxville, advance to the Sweet 16. And on that end of the floor, they're playing at a high level. But for this team, offensively too, they've gotten a lot better. Jillian Hollingshed is really emerging in the post. And so Jordan Horson and Rakia Jackson really didn't have good games. Jordan Horson also twisted her ankle. That was scary. It seems like she's going to be okay. But, those two were 9 of 27. Everybody else was 26 of 48. They've got a lot of people playing well right now. I would not feel great about this. Virginia Tech's the number one seed. Virginia Tech won in Knoxville earlier this year. I think Tennessee's got a really good chance to win that game. And if they do, then you're probably talking about Tennessee, UConn, and the Elite Eight.
Yep, could be really fascinating, to watch on that front. So interested to see what happens there. We got a lot to get to on the show here today. We'll have Grant Ramey coming up at 7 o'clock. Get his thoughts on the Vols as they prepare for their Sweet 16 matchup against FAU. We'll have Mike Herndon from paulkoharski.com joining the show at 8 o'clock for his thoughts on the Titans, and Predators general manager David Poyle joining the show at 8:30 as well. Speaking of the Titans, Joe, They introduced 5 of their free agent signings yesterday: Luke Gifford, Andre Dillard, Daniel Brunskill, Aziz Al-Shaair, and, of course, Arden Key as well. Introduced yesterday for the Titans. Some interesting stuff there from Arden Key. A lot of people pointing out it kind of sounded a little bit like Danico Autry as he was talking about the Jags, of like, yeah, love those guys. Wasn't really all that thrilled with the offer they gave, and got to play them twice a year. So a lot of comparisons to Danico Autry made by Titans fans yesterday when they heard Arden Key speak. It's going to be really fascinating to see how that guy plays out for them and what his role ends up being and how good he is in terms of adding to the pass rush for the Titans. If you can get Harold Landry back healthy, I'm very fascinated to see what Arden Key brings to the table for the Titans.
Yeah, well, obviously they would hope that if you get a great year of him in a similar, because the Autry comparison was obvious from the start, and then you still have Autry playing at his level in that third year. That's a nice combo. That very well could be the only year those two are both on this team. But there's no doubt. And by the way, you look at Arden Key, what he did for Jacksonville. You look at the whole picture. Did Jacksonville not like him as a player, or is that a cap decision?
Right.
I'd say it's probably a cap decision. But for the Titans, could be their benefit. So I obviously I was driving to Knoxville yesterday, so I didn't really. Did Al-Shaair call Kaharski fat? I mean, I saw a tweet, but I
didn't see that. But man, I need to go back and watch that now.
I look at Kaharski's tweet. That's what he says, and I couldn't totally decipher what he meant. But if so, I mean, hey, man, hey, that's
coming in strong.
I love the banter. Yeah. Ripping Kaharski, always welcome in this town.
It's a good start. Looking forward to talking to Paul Kaharski tomorrow about that and other things with the Tennessee Titans. Austin Hooper scheduled to visit the Raiders. I don't know if that happened yesterday or if it's happening today, but Austin Hooper visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. So we've wondered about Austin Hooper and what exactly the plan was going to be there with the Titans. Would Austin Hooper be coming back? Does it make sense to bring Austin Hooper back? If you don't bring him back, what's your plan going to be at tight end? And it looks like at least there's a visit going on with Austin Hooper to the Raiders. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to sign there, but they've just traded Darren Waller, so it would make some sense from Austin Hooper's point of view that could be an attractive option for you. What do you make of the report yesterday from Ian Rappaport that Austin Hooper visiting the Las Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, well, I hope they don't expect that to be a replacement for Waller,
Mm-hmm.
one-for-one replacement. But, yeah, obviously they badly need a tight end now. I mean, I think if Austin Hooper moves on, then to me that I already thought Jeff Swain was probably going to be coming back, but I would think even more so now, Jeff Swain. So I want all the Swaders to get excited, okay? But to me, it also speaks to the Titans then needing to go respond with another tight end. I mean, to me, I guess you could draft one at a pretty decent spot in the draft. And I feel like we say that about you could do it with this or that and this and that all the time. Safety, corner. Well, corner, you can probably wipe corner off the board now. So that's one thing. So it's a little easier to get time, but you could also make the case for 2 receivers. You could make the case for 2 offensive linemen, right?
Sure.
That's why I kind of thought, Hooper coming back here on a similar deal would make sense because he played well. I mean, at midseason, just as you gave up on him, it's not like you were alone. I mean, at that point, I would have said, yeah, this just didn't work out. The second half of the season kind of made the case that maybe it did, but maybe it's just not going to happen. So then you got to respond to that in some way. To me, you got to have, yes, you hope that Chig takes a big step. You hope, but Swaim's important. I'm sorry. He's important to have, in the mix, a guy who has played here. If you can upgrade on him, great. I'm not saying, you don't want to do that, but you also have to have bodies at the position.
Well, no question. And look, I've wondered this from the start from Hooper's standpoint. Like, we always view somebody not coming back as, oh, well, I guess the Titans didn't want him. And maybe that's the case. Look, I have no idea what's going on with Austin Hooper and where he's, maybe it's the Raiders is where he ends up. I don't know. But I have wondered, and we talked about this last week, like from Austin Hooper's standpoint, do you look at the Titans and what's going on right now and just the way the offense has been run and what the offense looked like last year? And, like, if you're Austin Hooper, you're saying, yeah, no thanks, man. I'll go find somewhere else where they throw the ball a little bit more and where I can be a little bit more involved. Like, I think that absolutely could be a part of this where Hooper's like, you know what, I think I'll just go look elsewhere. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, think about when he came over last year, we were wondering, okay, so why the decrease in production from Atlanta to Cleveland? And he talked a lot about being a running offense. And I was kind of like, do you know where you went, Austin? Do you know where? Now, he also talked about when he was signed, well, basically I went to where I got an offer, right? So it didn't sound like, he was just itching to play for the Tennessee Titans. It sounded like the market for him was pretty soft last year. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're him looking at where things to work, you saw what Waller did there, what they like to do. Their team has changed some, but you probably feel like you'll be utilized a little bit more in that offense than this one.
Liam on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, I'd rather watch team personnel light duffel bags of money on fire in the stadium parking lot than see Jeff Swain play football ever again. This from Liam on the text line.
I mean, come on. You guys are just kidding now, right? Are you guys just trolling?
I don't think so.
I mean, come on. I mean, seriously. Like he's not great, okay? I get it. Go through all the teams in the NFL and find all their tight ends and tell me how amazing they all are. Like what? He's an NFL tight end. Like if you watch him, if you actually go to a game and watch him, he's a pretty good blocker. He's had a couple whiffs that now make people think he's a bad blocker. Also, he catches the ball. Like I don't understand this. Seriously, it's dumb now.
The Swaders are out in force.
It's enough.
LD from McMinnville on the text line says, Jared entered the film room and after exiting has determined that the Titans' new cornerback sucks. This is from LD from McMinnville. I did hear some of this yesterday. Drives him nuts. Apparently Sean Murphy Bunting plays 10 to 15 yards off the line of scrimmage every snap, Joe. Jared's very upset by it.
So, the Bucks are in press man coverage, and he's still like, nope, I don't care, man.
Nah, man, I'm back here.
I'm playing off coverage. I'm just afraid, okay? Hey, Sean, we're in man right now. Now, you know what? I'm gonna play like we're in a soft cover 3. Okay, yeah. How about that? That's just my personal coverage is a soft cover 3. Okay, thank you.
We'll just see how that goes. 615.
Good. Thank you, Jared, for getting that hashtag film room, baby.
615-737-1025. We're off and running on Robby and Rexrode, taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025. Another move made in the NFL yesterday that has me scratching my head a little bit at the Tennessee Titans. We'll get into that coming up next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Tune in to Robby and Rexrode this week for your chance to win tickets to the Louder Than Life Festival.
They're all in there, man. They're trying to win.
Yes. The Louder Than Life Festival, September 21st through the 24th at the Kentucky Expo Center in Louisville. Catch some of the biggest acts in music.
That rocks.
Blew the house up, man. It was ill.
Listen for your chance to win all this week on Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Spring in and style up with huge savings on top athletic brands at your Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store in Franklin. Stay active this spring with up to 70% off the athletic styles you love. Shop deals on thousands of styles from top athletic apparel and footwear brands like $10 tees, tanks, and shorts for the family, $20 swimwear, $20 golf polos, and running footwear for $60 or less. Find incredible deals and incredible style at your Dick's Sporting Goods warehouse sales store in Franklin at Watson Glen.
If you compare a diamond from Genesis Diamonds to one you find somewhere else, one thing will always stand out. The Genesis diamond is, well, prettier and more brilliant.
We will show you why our diamond's light performance is significantly greater than things you can get elsewhere.
Genesis Diamonds Vice President David Cooper.
Not just because of the color and the clarity, but because of things a certificate can't tell you. Because of the characteristics, the personality, the material.
It's the extra step in quality control that comes from an owner obsessed with perfection.
Our owner is incredibly picky when he many buys diamonds, searching through hundreds just to get a handful. You will not see diamonds that have the fire at your average mall store or chain store or smaller independent because they don't have the access worldwide like Genesis Diamonds does. Our diamonds' light performance, character, and explosive brilliance is bar none the best your money can buy.
Don't compromise with a diamond that just looks good on paper. Get a diamond that reflects your love in the best light possible.
This diamond has to be spectacular.
Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Join the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce April 3rd through 6th for an exclusive look into what makes Nashville the IT city. Whether you're new to town or a Nashville native, Intro Nashville gives you the opportunity to become engaged and connected to our city's community. During this multi-day immersive program, you'll hear from over 20 community leaders and industry experts whose storytelling unlocks a comprehensive view of our city and region. Gain historical and economic perspective on Nashville while establishing relationships with local business leaders. Register now at intronash.com.
Hi.
Who's this?
Buzz. He appears whenever you eat Honey Nut Cheerios.
Like a genie?
Sure.
Ooh, does he grant wishes? I wish I lived in a giant boot. No, I wish I could swim with a humpback whale. No.
I can grant you a delicious bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, which can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
Ooh, with heart shapes, too.
Happy heart-shaped Cheerios are back for a limited time. Pick up a box of Honey Nut Cheerios at your local store for an easy, delicious, and heart-healthy start to your day.
Hey, Coach, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know we're going with Geico for next week's game.
Geico? As our starting point guard?
Geico really delivers in the clutch, with over 85 years of great claim service right when customers need it most.
Coach, Geico isn't a basketball player. It's an insurance company.
Yeah, I just feel like Geico gives us our best chance to win.
Are you serious right now?
Thanks, champ. Knew you'd understand.
For the choice you can always rely on, go to geico.com.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
We are good to go.
Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. We are live from our 102.5 The Game studio, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Mark from Nashville. Mark, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, how you doing, Robby? Uncle Joe, how you doing, man?
Good, buddy. How you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Hey, Joe, I heard you say something about you went to Buc-ee's, man. You think you could bring me a Buc-ee's hat, Buc-ee's stocking hat, man, and a Buc-ee recliner lawn chair? I'd appreciate it, Joe, if you would.
You can find everything in that thing, man.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Buc-ee's nice, man. Huh?
Well, I'm going to New York. I'm going to New York next, so that's actually maybe I can try to go there. That's a good idea. Just load up on Buc-ee's stocking caps, just hand them out in Manhattan.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
Those recliners look nice, man.
Oh yeah, Joe, give me a coloring book, some Crayola crayons. Buc-ee's got the Buc-ee emblem on it. I'll take it all, man. hey, I tell you what though,
place.
Joe. Hey, their barbecue is great, but I'm gonna tell you what I like more than anything. They got a ham, bacon, and turkey sandwich on wheat that is outstanding, Joe. You need to try that on the way back, man.
Okay. All right.
Really do.
I'll hit that up.
I see where Josh is. It true, Robby, that Josh Dobbs signed back with Cleveland again on a 1-year deal? Oh man, that eliminates Josh. Then I thought he would hang around and be a backup for the Titans. I was kind of hoping that would happen, or whatnot, but I guess it didn't. Well, you know, Joe, tomorrow's tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to think about something tonight, Joe, and I'm gonna have to give you an all-time pep talk tomorrow. We're going to cut the losing streak out, Joe.
I agree. I agree.
But I hope Stillman is listening, Joe. I really would love if I could debate Stillman one time I'd like to put up about $4,000 on it. And I'm not joking about that. I want one debate with him, but I got to have somebody, a different mediator. Can't have Caroline. I got to have somebody that don't know us. He don't know us and give me a fair chance. But I really would love to debate with him. You let him know that, Joe. I know he'll be calling the show. Tell him Mark from Nashville got him on your mind. I want him. I really do want a debate still.
Mark, we'll see if we can't get this set up. We appreciate you calling in this morning.
I'm in.
All right. See y'all later, Rob.
See you later,
All right,
Mark.
Joe. See you, man.
Hey, buddy.
The legendary Mark from Nashville back at it again this morning. I'm really looking forward to this pep talk that Mark is going to give up tomorrow to Joe Rexrode. Very much looking forward to that. So we'll see what happens on that front. But Joe, he does bring up an interesting point. Josh Dobbs signing with the Cleveland Browns. Now, his agent put that out there yesterday. Josh Dobbs returning to the Browns and signing a one-year contract with Cleveland. So cross Josh Dobbs off the list in terms of the backup quarterback options for the Tennessee Titans. So Dobbs comes in, plays, I think, reasonably well for the Titans in a pretty bad situation in the last 2 games of the regular season. We thought, could Dobbs be an option to be the backup to Tannehill this year? And apparently the answer is no. So now that begs the question, what is the plan for the Tennessee Titans at the backup quarterback position? If it's not going to be Dobbs, who's it going to be? Is it simply Malik Willis? Is there another veteran quarterback that they have their eyes on out there? I mean, I'm looking at veterans who are available. You have Carson Wentz. You have Matt Ryan, who was released by the Colts the other day. You have Mason Rudolph, Teddy Bridgewater, Joe Flacco, Blaine Gabbert. I mean, there's some guys out there who have played meaningful football in the NFL before, but I do wonder, with Dobbs now in Cleveland, what is the plan for the Tennessee Titans at the backup quarterback spot?
Well, I mean, is it possible this expresses belief in Malik Willis? Is it possible this tells us that they think that he's on a good trajectory and that by the time they get through this entire offseason, the way he's approaching things, that next year they feel like he can actually be a solid QB2? I mean, I think that has to be considered here, along with, like, as you said, there are other veterans to go get. I mean, if you're going to do that, I don't know why you wouldn't try. And again, we don't know. I'm trying to think, like, if you're Dobbs, why is Cleveland more appealing?
I don't know. I mean, obviously he's not going to start there. There's Deshaun Watson and the contract that he's been given. We know all about that. I mean, look, he wasn't going to start anywhere. Let's make that perfectly clear. He was not going to start anywhere. But I think he gets that. Yeah.
But like here, I mean, you got a guy who maybe is playing his last year. You came right in and jumped over the rookie, and then who knows what the future would bring. But to me, like, there's more potential opportunity here.
You would think. Now I wonder if he did want to come back here, and the Titans said, "Hey, thanks, but no thanks. We'll see you later." Like, to me, I hear what you're saying on Malik Willis. Like, if that's the approach, I think that's a gigantic mistake by the Tennessee Titans. Now, we've talked about this. Like, if he shows up to training camp and he's clearly ready to be the backup quarterback, then great. Make your decision then. That's awesome. But to come to that decision now, while fully recognizing that they know way more than I do and have a better idea of what Malik Willis is than I do, I get all that. But I can't for the life of me figure out how you could possibly come to that decision right now based on what we saw from Malik Willis last year, that you feel like he's ready to be your number 2.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. Again, he doesn't have to be that now. He has to be that in a few months. I mean, how could you be sure of that? I don't know. I'm with you. Like, I don't know. There is a lot more information that they have that we don't have. But yeah, if I had to pick one of the two as what's more likely, it would probably be that they just have their eyes on somebody else. All those, I mean, maybe it's time to go through, maybe like to make Jim Irsay feel bad, they're going to get all of their former starters and just become Titans backups.
Maybe so.
In the next few years and then get all the Colts secrets from them. I don't know. I mean, the quarterbacks you listed, you could make a case for a few of them to be a better option than Joshua Dobbs.
For sure.
So I guess that's fine. I just thought there was a good fit there, and he's a pretty good backup in the league. I mean, I think he kept himself as a backup in this league for several years just with what he did in a very short period of time with the Titans.
I'd agree.
But yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it's probably more they just like somebody else than it's all in on Malik, I would think. But I did have that thought, like maybe, I don't know, maybe they feel like he's figured some things out and that it's going to play out on the field. Maybe so. I mean, look, to me, that's a heck of a risk to take right now. That could be the way that it goes, and maybe there's a veteran that you could bring in, and you hope Malik Willis beats him out at that point. I don't know what happens there. Now, we got a lot of people on the text line sad to see Dobbs go, and how could you choose Malik over Dobbs? I mean, I don't know that that's what they're doing. I mean, they could have their eye on – look, I just read it off. Like Teddy Bridgewater, I think, is a better option than Joshua Dobbs is. Matt Ryan, if he wants to be a backup quarterback, which I kind of have my doubts about, we'll see what happens there on that front. I mean, you've got Carson Wentz out there, Blaine Gabbert's out there, Mason Rudolph's out there. Like, there are guys that are decent backup quarterback. Like Chase Daniel's been a backup quarterback forever. He's out there. I mean, there are guys that have been decent backup quarterbacks in the NFL that are still available. So that very well could be the plan for the Titans. It was surprising, though, given how well that Dobbs fit in a short amount of time coming in here. I thought that would buy him some interest from the Titans. And maybe it's just as simple as, like, whatever Cleveland offered. Like, I haven't seen the numbers associated with it. I just know it's a one-year deal. But whatever Cleveland offered, maybe it was better than what the Titans were going to offer. I have no idea. But there are still some options out there that are intriguing. I just wonder if the Titans are going to take one of those options. Yeah, and some of those options I would think would cost more than him. I would think so. But the cap's fake, Robbie. Yeah, yes, it is. 615-737-1025. What do you make of Joshua Dobbs signing with the Cleveland Browns? What's the plan for the Titans at the backup quarterback position? We'll continue that discussion coming up next. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Want a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Preds game?
Yes.
Tune in to Robby and Rexrode every weekday Preds game day at 8:45 for Preds Pick to Click. Guess a goal scorer and win.
I'll take Roman Yossi.
Matt Duchesne. Pick to Click is brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Visit tjandersonhomes.com to see why they are referred so often. And by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
Preds Pick to Click.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the best-selling Toyota Tacoma, with powerful off-road capabilities and the best resale value in its class. Now through April 4th, you can get low 3.99 APR financing on a new 2023 Tacoma, with approved credit through TFS, excludes TRD Pro, and every new Toyota comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance included. Get complete details at buyatoyota.com. Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places.
The team at Mercedes-Benz of Music City have done it again. Here's Edwin Vickery to explain.
4-time recipient of Best of the Best. Less than 10% of the dealers in the country receive this award. How did you do it? We say culture eats strategy for lunch, because we can strategize all we want, but unless you have the right culture and chemistry in the dealership, it will not work.
Live the dream at Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
For one day only, Saturday, March 25th, get 5+ acres and a new cabin package on sale for only $69.9 during the Nashville Acreage Grand Opening Land Sale. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get the best of both worlds. Flat, usable, prime Nashville acreage with the biggest and most spectacular ridgeline views in the entire Nashville area. Priced below market prices. Come explore this recreational paradise and make your dreams of owning exceptional Nashville acreage a reality for less. With 5+ acres and a new new cabin package for just $69.9. Best of all, these properties include first-class infrastructure like county water, electric, and county road frontage. All huge advantages in today's market. Appointment times are filling up fast. Call now to book your private tour. 615-437-6348. That's 615-437-6348. Cabin kit package for materials only. Delivered to site by third party. Taxes and delivery not included. Price is subject to change without notice or obligation. Call for complete details. An equal housing opportunity.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Wendy's 2 for $6 lets you mix and match some of our best items, like Dave Single with a 10-piece crispy nugs, medium strawberry lemonade with a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy chicken with a Dave Single with a strawberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, if you're into that. Chicken Sam, crispy nugs, strawberry lemonade, Dave's, nugs, Sam. Whew. Pick what you want at a price you want. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $6.
For a limited time, price participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. On the card only. Single item at regular price.
When you want live and local,
if they were just better at the offensive line,
You can be a contender in the AFC again.
they've had more winning seasons than not. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game has you covered. Looking for some national programming?
why do I want to get a running back like that 5 more years?
AFC now is so deep at quarterback.
Check out 94.9 The Fan. Nashville's home for all things sports is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and 94.9 The Fan.
Hey, this is Pete Weber. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
This week's Nashville's best deal of the week is Eastside Bowl in Madison. This week you can get 2 hours of bowling plus shoe rentals for up to 6 people for just $45. That's 2 full hours of bowling plus shoes for up to 6 people for just $45 at Eastside Bowl in Madison. You can go to thegamenashville.com/deals to get yours now. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Taking your thoughts on the Titans. What's the plan at the backup quarterback position now that Joshua Dobbs has signed with the Cleveland Browns? 615-737-1025. Ken and Waverly on the text line says, Dobbs was a practice squad quarterback. There are plenty of backups that are way better than Dobbs. This from Ken from Waverly on the text line. Mark on the text line says, what about Cam Newton? And Cam Newton, interesting, he did not play last year, but apparently is participating at Auburn's Pro Day coming up here in the next couple of days and will be throwing at Auburn's Pro Day. So Cam Newton apparently looking to get back in the NFL. I don't know that Cam Newton would be the way that I would go, though, Joe Rexrode.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it feels like he's older than he is, but he's just – I mean, that guy got battered, and we saw it play out, and that's why, he wasn't around last year. I mean, I hear what Ken's saying. Like we just said that. I mean, there are quarterbacks out there who are more accomplished, have started with a lot of success in this league, who are out there, probably, again, who will cost a little bit more too. So if you get one of them, that's fine. I'm trying to think of, Like what's the market for / interest in a guy like Matt Ryan right now?
Well, I don't know. I could be totally wrong here. It's difficult for me to imagine Matt Ryan wanting to sit through being a backup quarterback. I'm not saying he won't.
You think he's still starting?
Well, I don't know that he's going to.
You think he'll hang it up?
I think he'll hang it up. I don't think that he'll want to sit through being a backup. Now, that's just my read on it. I could be totally wrong. I mean, look, Matt Hasselbeck was a starter forever and then became a backup for 3-4 years. Some guys, they don't mind it, and they'll take the money while they can get it, and they'll be a backup quarterback, and maybe that's what Matt Ryan will be. But, I'm looking around the league. Is there anywhere right now that Matt Ryan is going to be the starting quarterback next year based on what we saw a year ago? I mean, I don't know. That's a good question, but I kind of have my doubts that Matt Ryan's signing up to be a backup quarterback. That's just me.
Yeah, I guess when you've made MVP money, Then if you're doing that, it's just you just really, really just want to be around the game, just as long as possible. It's not, so you can, because you need that $4 million or whatever,
Yeah, for sure. Got a texter that says Cam Newton's right. There's not 32 guys better than him. There's 50. This is from a texter on the text line. Got another texter that asked if Cam is trying to get drafted again, throwing at the Auburn Pro Day. Have you ever seen like a quarterback that's been in the league for a long time, that's been out, said, you know what, I'm throwing at a pro day? I don't think I've ever seen this happen before, ever, with Cam Newton.
I've seen, not like this. Like I've definitely like quarterbacks go back and throw and help out the young guys. But, yeah, not to like try out at pro day. No. Is it? Yeah. Does he have like a fake ID that says he's 22?
I have no idea. No idea how they're handling that. I got a text that says Ryan Tannehill was a backup. One thing to keep in mind. Look, maybe Matt Ryan doesn't mind being a backup. That's just totally my opinion on the situation. I have no basis in fact for what I'm saying. That's kind of the vibe that I get from Matt Ryan. Then the Carson Wentz part of this, like Carson Wentz to me, if he wants to be in the NFL, is going to be a backup quarterback, but. Like, if you're the Titans, you got any interest in bringing Carson Wentz in?
No, I don't think so. Doesn't sound like – it just sounds like, like that's the thing with Dobbs. I understand people out there saying, yeah, he's not that great. But it's just like with any other player, you want to bring in guys who will be good in the locker room.
Right.
And, you want to bring in pros who aren't going to be disruptive and who are going to get along with everybody. And to me, Dobbs – personifies that, right? Like he's like that to me increases his value. And Wentz, I would say, would not. I mean, I think from all Wentz going to be really, really interested to see what happens with Wentz, but no, I would not put him on the list. So who is like, yeah, both of those, if you rule them out, what would be the best option?
Probably Bridgewater. You take out Teddy Bridgewater, Mason Rudolph's out there. I mean, Flacco, at his age, is still out there. And then there's Blaine Gabbert, who's been here before. But, I mean, probably Bridgewater at that point.
Yeah, okay. I could see it. Yeah, and that's, if you're so Bridgewater and Ryan and Wentz, like those are quarterbacks who bringing up Tannehill. Now, Tannehill was traded here, so it wasn't his choice. But those are guys who, what you do to me is like you're interested in a place where the starter is vulnerable.
Yeah,
I mean, and there are always teams like that. But also, just like I said with Dobbs, like if you're looking at Cleveland versus Tennessee without knowing what offers he had or didn't have, I mean, if you're Bridgewater, you could look at Tannehill and say, yeah, there's some vulnerability there, and this is his last year, and they at some point they're going to go get the young QB, but in the meantime, he could be a bridge.
Very nicely done. Way to go, Rexrode. 615-737-1025. We'll get back into the backup quarterback discussion a little bit later in the show. The draft now, because we're going to get a little bit into the draft here in the next few minutes. I look at what the Titans have done in free agency, and the quarterback position could be part of this. We'll see if they add to that coming up with the backup quarterback. But you've got your offensive linemen with Brunskill and Dillard coming in. There's still a hole there at left guard. We'll see what happens on that front that you're probably going to have to address in the draft. But now you've created options for yourself with the number 11 overall pick. And whether it's left tackle, whether it ends up being wide receiver, which they have not addressed at this point in free agency, I do think that they've created some flexibility for themselves in the draft. And I'm interested to see what their approach is. How has the way that free agency has played out to this point, if you're the Titans, influenced the way that you view the draft coming up? There's still, look, I know that they signed Arden Key. I wouldn't be opposed to them signing or drafting another edge rusher. Like, I don't think you can ever have really too many edge rushers out there. And I know they've got Rashad Weaver, and I think if he's the number 3, like in a rotation role, that could be fine. And you could be good with Rashad Weaver there. But I still wouldn't be opposed to seeing them go edge rusher at some point early in the draft either. But, for a while, with the roster being what it was, it just kind of felt like, hey, if you're not moving up to go get your franchise quarterback, it's probably just going to be a left tackle at number 11 overall, and that's going to be that. and maybe it still will be, but the more I see that their roster coming together via free agency, the more I'm leaving the door open for a wide receiver being selected at number 11 overall.
Yeah, it's funny because beat writer, mock draft 2 is happening right now.
Uh-oh.
By the way, I can't give away who I picked, but I will tell you, I tried to get out of 11. I tried. You got to have someone who wants to come into 11.
Yep.
So don't get your hopes up on 11 being able to be moved to move down. But it's just, to me, it's like, is there a receiver in this draft worth that pick? It just, like, I like Jordan Addison a lot. Smith and Jigba, I think he's the interesting one who maybe could elevate. And in fact, Ohio State's pro day is this week. I mean, yeah, like he does. I mean, he's done some things as a college player that make you open your eyes. And Ohio State receivers, it's just been a ridiculous run for that program. Also, though, the injury thing, Titans seem like they're trying to get away from injury histories whenever they can, although you can't entirely get away from it. I just don't know if there's anybody that's really worth that pick.
Right. I mean, look, I think Smith and Jigba is pretty good, but, I mean, you're talking about a guy that dealt with hamstring injuries all the last year. Like, if that's the route they go, I mean, that doesn't mean that next year he's just going to be dealing with a hamstring left and right. I can just tell you, though, if that's the route they go, Titans fans are going to be like, oh, great. So we brought in a new general manager, and now we're just drafting hurt guys all over again. That's going to be fun. We'll see how that works out. I mean, you can't base your decision that way if you're Rand Carthon. Like, if you love him, then go get him. But I'm just saying, I don't know if Titans fans are going to be overly excited with drafting the guy that had a bunch of hamstring injuries and issues last year.
And even without them, I don't know that is he the number 11 pick? I mean,
I don't know.
It's hard with Ohio State because when you are surrounded by that much talent, sometimes it gets easy for you. Where you can think about some of the guys who are around him there too. I mean, I think he's very good. I think he's first round pick, but yeah, you don't want to reach at 11. So I feel like you have to really trust. I think they're in a position, if you have to pick there, you really do have to trust the best available. And I think edge and best available, obviously with positional need in mind. I think an edge there, it could be Nolan Smith or one of those offensive tackles, whoever you have ranked higher on your board. And I would bet that both of those guys, I'd bet that any of those guys would be ranked higher than any receiver. That'd be my guess on the Titans' big board. Then you go there.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you got to figure out receiver at some point. But just because, like, you don't want to get into a situation where, oh, my goodness, we don't have any receivers. We got to find some, so let's just go ahead and draft this guy at number 11, even though we feel like 5 guys are better than him on our board. Like, you can't do that if you're the Titans. Now, having said that, like, at some point, you're going to have to figure out wide receiver. Like, you got a lot of moves that you got to make at wide receiver, and I think a couple of them at least are coming in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next 2 picks are receiver then, if it plays out like that. And I think that's the more appropriate way to go based on how the position group is evaluated. Sometimes it's wrong. The greatest receiver of all time may be there and should have been picked way higher, but basically it looks like a deep position that you can get a lot of guys later, and that's probably what they're going to have to do.
I got a text.
Are you going to get? Go ahead.
Got a text that says first round wide receiver in consecutive years. Good call, Robbie. Blueprinting Joe's Lions of days gone by from JD and Brentwood on the text line.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not saying they should
Matt
do it.
Millen.
I'm just throwing it out there that they need some receivers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Lions' plan was like they were so bad they were like the number 1 pick every year.
I know.
Mike Williams. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. 615-737-1025. We'll continue the discussion on the draft. How has free agency shaped what you think the Titans should do with their number 11 overall pick? And we'll get to some interesting draft tidbits that I saw yesterday as well regarding the quarterback position. That's coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Shot clock at 2. And the three is good from Jordan Wright.
After an amazing end-of-season run, the Vanderbilt Commodores look to win the NIT.
Wright fires. Wow!
Join Jerry Stackhouse and his team for every moment on your home for Vanderbilt basketball. 93.3 Classic Hits.
Attention all fire and safety line experts. Middle Tennessee's fastest growing fire protection company is looking for experienced service technicians, designers, and sprinkler system experts like you. Tired of working for a large corporate employer? Work for a company where you're more than just a number. Jarrett Fire Protection is owned and operated by Nashville natives and wants to invite you to grow with their amazing team.
Hi, I'm Jason Jarrett, owner of Jarrett Companies. I'm looking to hire experienced sprinkler experts and will offer a sign-on bonus of up to $5,000 for certified professionals. In addition to our great benefits that include a 401k match, PTO, and top pay with annual bonuses, we will also provide you with the top-of-the-line tools, trucks, and equipment that you need to grow your career. Our customer base is large and business is booming with many opportunities for advancement. Give us a call or go online to jarrettfire.com and apply today to become a member of our family and protect our community. That's JARRETT fire.com. Jarrett Companies, where we are above and beyond industry standards.
We pride ourselves on being transparent, opening up the books, and sharing all the secrets of the diamond industry. We have a passion for this, and part of having a passion is sharing that passion.
Genesis Diamonds Vice President David Cooper says, at Genesis, you don't just get an entry-level course in diamonds, you get a PhD.
We love educating our customers, even over-educating our customers about diamonds and gemstones, so they can truly see the difference in what we offer.
At Genesis, diamonds are not a side business. It's their only business.
We eat, breathe, and sleep diamonds.
So whether you end up buying at Genesis or not, come for the education.
The better educated we can make you at Genesis Diamonds, the better a shopper you're going to be, whether you shop with us or anyone else. You will be able to tell the difference and know what you are buying, so you make the best decision for you.
Genesis Diamonds, proud to offer one of the largest selections of GIA certified diamonds in the nation, with no middleman markups, no retail pricing games, no commission salespeople, and no nonsense. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Does this sound familiar?
We have the worst agent in town, and we couldn't be more miserable. They showed up late to every showing, convinced us to lower the price way below market value, and let the cat in the house. We didn't even have a cat, but in the end, we never sold our house and lost our dream home. Hire our terrible agent and see the results for yourself. You'll totally regret it.
Don't let that happen. Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why we are referred so often by home buyers and sellers. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, office number 615-432-2919.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The sports talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic and Junie Riddle for Michelle and Junie.
As long as he wants to coach there, he will be able to coach there.
I think that really did save the hope of this team.
Michelle and Junie, presented by Superbook Sports, every Saturday morning at 9 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Tune in later this morning at 8:45 for your chance to participate in Pred's Pick to Click and win a pair of tickets to a future Pred's home game. Pick to Click brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Visit tjandersonhomes.com to see why they are referred so often. And Superbook Sports, voted #1 sports book in Vegas. What the Titans have done in free agency influence what you think they should do in the draft, specifically at number 11 overall coming up. 615-737-1025. Got a texter that says, you need to go offensive tackle with the pick. We're one small injury away from being in the same boat as last year. You need to go get the offensive tackle that will be there for the next 10 years. This from a texter on the text line. So saying go get the offensive tackle to avoid being in the situation that you were in a year ago with the offensive line.
Yeah, I understand the thinking. I mean, but I do really think this is where, and this teams talk about this all the time, And I think if you stick to this, then I think it's a good recipe for success. If the offensive lineman is higher ranked on your big board of overall prospects than the highest receiver, the highest edge, whatever it is, then I agree. If you have Nolan Smith ranked higher than Paris Johnson and they're both available, take Nolan Smith. It's not like you can't get an offensive tackle later in the draft. I mean, I think you have to. Now, I guess you could make the case, yeah, but how much of a need? I still think it's a need. I mean, Arden Key is a nice signing. Harold Landry's coming off an ACL. Is that a big deal? But you can't have too much affecting of the quarterback. And I think that guy, like we've seen some other guys from Georgia.
Yep.
Whether their coach wears a visor and they think everybody picked him to go 5-7, but by golly, they can play football.
Yes, they can. Nolan Smith was one of those who was talking about everybody picking him to go 5-7. It's an interesting point.
Wait till he comes here. They're like, everybody picked us to go 1-16.
Yeah. Devin from Dover on the text line says, how high is Nolan Smith projected to go? He looks legit. And
he's a monster.
Oh, he's a monster. It looks like, I mean, it really depends on the mock drafts that you're looking at, but a lot of the ones that I've looked at have him available at number 11 overall. I mean, he's gone in, 12 and some. I think I've seen some where he's been 16 or 17. So I mean, he's been available. Now mock drafts don't necessarily mean anything, but I'm just saying that's where the range of picks has him being.
The range has basically had him going right after the Titans for the most part. So that's where being there, if you believe he's going to be great. And again, the thing with Nolan Smith is the numbers aren't great for him. I think it's like 12.5 sacks or something like that. But watch that guy play. Now he also had injury too, so you have to keep that take that into account as well. But I'm just saying, if you believe you believe he's a better football player than whatever offensive tackle is sitting there, I think that's what you do.
I got a texter on the text line that says, is trading number 11 overall for Stephon Diggs something that would be reasonable? This is from a texter on the text line. I don't know, are the Bills they're going to trade Stephon Diggs?
The Bills going to do that?
I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, I guess, look.
Yeah, do you have some information we don't have?
Never say never, but, I mean, I think he just restructured a contract. The other thing is he's 29 years old. He'll be 30 this year. So, I mean, I don't know that you're going that route, but Buffalo's in their window to win. I don't think they have any interest in getting rid of their best receiver. I think.
Right. Yeah. Buffalo's in their window to win, and he has to be a huge part of that. And from your perspective, this is when the draft is the lifeblood of a roster. You have to have young and cheap players in this league. On those first deals. I mean, look, would Stephon Diggs help the Titans? Yeah. Would he move the needle that much? That with then what you're sacrificing, and what you are lacking elsewhere. I have my doubts about that.
Yeah. Matt on the text line says, yeah, Georgia lineman. Wilson was great, right? Well, it's a different position. It's a different side of the ball. You can't be afraid to draft people from Georgia just because the one guy didn't work out. Turns out